Yeah, he's boastful. I think his god is the material things, money, everything like that. I'm pity with him because I want to share the word of God in him if he believe.
You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault. When I go on vacation for 30 days, I take 30 watches with me.
Educated in school, I'm educated in life. I know how to survive.
There you go.
Nobody has taken none of my properties away from me.
Right.
So I still got all my houses. I still got everything. My mother, and my whole family, they bills still paid.
Right.
I still pay all my employees. And just look around, my team, they still paying their bills. My mother house is paid for. All my properties are paid for. My grandson don't want for nothing. I'm happy with that. As long as I'm able to eat every day, pay my bills, and travel and do the things that I want to do, and I don't have to get up and punch no clock and work for nobody, then that's my comfort. A lot of times they say, oh, it's this lawsuit, it's that lawsuit. One thing about me, whoever I get involved with, as far as with business, I get myself out of the situation. Nobody see me in no soup line, and I ain't been out on the streets begging like my hands is cups.
Right.
So
nobody saw this twist coming. Manny Pacquiao has suddenly turned the spotlight back onto Floyd Mayweather, and the internet can't stop talking about it. In a newly released video, Pacquiao appears to respond to reports surrounding Floyd's alleged $150 million financial troubles with a calm smile that speaks louder than any insult ever could. The very fighter Floyd once dismissed is now watching the narrative flip in dramatic fashion. This isn't simply another chapter in an old rivalry. It feels like fate circling back. Stay with us, because this story only gets more unbelievable from here.
Two princes. There can only be one king. June 27th, only on the Zone.
I give it all that I got.
Steven Fernando, Carolina Sports for Fight Hub TV.
Few matchups in boxing history ever reached the level of Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Their blockbuster showdown in 2015 shattered financial records and became one of the sport's biggest spectacles. Years later, their names are once again linked, but this time the conversation is no longer centered on championship belts. Instead, it's driven by business decisions, financial headlines, and developments that stretch well beyond what happened inside the ropes.
Having the worst month of his life, and it just got worse. Just the other day, June 18th, a new lawsuit filed against Floyd Mayweather and his business partners Frist Apex Ventures, filed by CSI Entertainment and their other entities in the state of New York. I released 2 videos recently covering this story. This is now the 3rd in the trilogy about Floyd going broke, having issues with felony charges, and now
Pacquiao recently shared a video that immediately caught the attention of boxing fans everywhere. Rather than attacking Mayweather, he addressed him in a composed and respectful manner, while ongoing reports continue to circulate about Floyd's reported financial challenges. Pacquiao also mentioned the delayed rematch and expressed hope that everything would eventually be resolved. Coming from the man who once shared the ring with Mayweather in boxing's biggest event, the message carries far greater significance than ordinary words.
Before he wants an exhibition with me, but I disagree, and I don't want to fight with exhibition with him. I want to fight a real fight like this. So this is it. This is what I'm waiting for.
Mayweather Jr. sure used to talk a lot of smack about Muhammad Ali. To turn around and be in a situation that is apparently worse than Muhammad Ali was in, as Floyd Mayweather Jr. is suing all of his business friends, former business friends.
Throughout his legendary career, Pacquiao earned respect through relentless discipline and non-stop dedication. Even today, despite his age, he continues following a demanding routine that inspires younger generations of fighters. His latest comments arrived during a period when questions continue surrounding Mayweather's financial affairs. Reports have linked Floyd to alleged losses estimated around $150 million, while legal disputes involving former associates and business partners continue to attract attention. Although those matters remain unresolved, they have become one of boxing's biggest talking points.
But now, his latest situation is him being sued for how he did not uphold his end of the bargain with what we had seen promoted with the Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao fights that were supposed to be happening. Floyd Mayweather is being sued by a boxing promoter who claims they paid the legendary pugilist $4.65 million in advance money for mega fights against Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao, only for Floyd to walk away.
Mayweather has publicly rejected many of the claims, insisting that his primary assets remain secure and that his responsibilities toward his family have never changed. Even so, discussions around his financial situation continue throughout the boxing community. For years, Floyd carefully built the money image into one of sport's most recognizable brands. Private jets, luxury cars, expensive watches, and lucrative exhibition fights became symbols of that lifestyle. That reputation earned admiration across the world, but it also brought intense scrutiny whenever questions emerged. Cancelled events, payment disagreements, and management controversies have all fueled recent speculation. UFC president Dana White offered a more compassionate viewpoint, acknowledging the enormous effort Mayweather invested to build his fortune. White noted that athletes often experience dramatic financial changes and suggested that everyone in sports understands how quickly circumstances can shift after years at the top.
He created a lifestyle that he can no longer keep up.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully this situation gets rectified, especially when it comes to having people around you, having other people in control of your finances. That's a no-no, Joe, that's a no-no.
Man.
That is a big no-no, especially with the kind of cash flow
Not
Floyd
no blank,
having.
though, Ocho. You know you can't sign anything blank. Ocho, when they come to us and they try to get us to sign these blanks, when it comes to our autograph. No, bro. Do you know how...
Veteran promoter Bob Arum approached the situation from a different angle. Rather than focusing on individual events, he pointed toward the dangers of maintaining an extremely expensive lifestyle over many years. According to Arum, no amount of wealth lasts forever if spending constantly outpaces planning. Having watched countless champions rise and eventually decline, his remarks reflected decades of experience instead of criticism. Adrian Broner responded with unwavering loyalty. The former world champion publicly stated that he would stand by Mayweather and even help him if circumstances ever required it. His comments highlighted the friendships that often survive long after the cameras disappear. Meanwhile, analysts Jason Whitlock and Rick Glazer examined the situation from another perspective. They argued that the larger-than-life money brand may have increased the pressure surrounding Floyd, pointing toward business decisions, legal expenses, and changing relationships within his inner circle. Others, however, believe unsuccessful investments and disputes with business partners deserve more of the blame. Opinions remain sharply divided.
Your former fighters seems to be having money issues. You know, Floyd, his fight just got canceled in Greece. His fight with Mike Tyson might get suspended. Obviously, Pacquiao just got pushed back as well. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, it's very, very sad. But, you know, Floyd had a great career. He made a lot of money. But in his mind, that made him a great genius, great business genius. Great.
Additional reports also mention conversations involving individuals who were once considered close to Mayweather's camp. One widely discussed recording allegedly features Al Heyman and Leonard Ellerbay speaking about Floyd's circumstances in a way that suggests concern and possible distance. Whether those conversations truly represent changing loyalties or simply private discussions remains impossible to confirm. Boxing has always been built on complicated relationships behind the scenes. Meanwhile, plans for the long-discussed rematch remain delayed. Contract complications and Mayweather's ongoing legal matters reportedly played major roles in pushing everything back. Pacquiao continues expressing confidence that the fight could still happen, possibly sometime next year. His focus remains on finding a solution instead of creating more conflict. At the same time, the situation raises broader questions about what legacy really means. Mayweather retired undefeated while earning hundreds of millions through careful matchmaking and promotional control. That remarkable success also created expectations that become difficult to sustain once competition ends. Many former champions discover that mastering boxing is one challenge, while protecting wealth afterward is an entirely different one. Investments can disappoint, advisors can make costly mistakes, and expenses often grow much faster than expected.
Mayweather, something like $4.65 million for the exclusive rights to air both of those fights, the Mike Tyson fight and the Manny Pacquiao fight. They say that Floyd took the money and then basically just disappeared on them. Said, okay, I'm gonna take the money, I'm gonna cash the check, but I'm not actually going to allow you to, again, broadcast the fights. And this company, it's called CSI Entertainment, they have now filed the lawsuit, and they have essentially said, Floyd needs to give us that money, and not just that these events need—
Pacquiao's journey after boxing has taken a noticeably different direction. Beyond continuing to compete occasionally, he devoted significant energy to politics and public service in the Philippines. Although his finances have also faced public attention over the years, he continues projecting stability, discipline, and purpose. The contrast between both legends has become increasingly noticeable. One built his empire through defensive brilliance and calculated precision. The other inspired millions with relentless aggression, heart, and strong community connections. Both reached extraordinary heights, yet both now face the unique challenges that come after greatness. Nothing has been decided yet. Legal proceedings require patience, negotiations remain ongoing, and private settlements often unfold behind closed doors. Mayweather has overcome setbacks before and later returned with new opportunities. Whether history repeats itself remains uncertain. The delayed rematch demonstrates just how quickly outside circumstances can reshape even the biggest events. Pacquiao keeps training with quiet determination, while Mayweather continues managing his affairs and maintains that the foundation of his success remains secure.
More legal trouble for the undefeated boxer who we have talked about a lot over the last year, was set to come back and get back in the boxing ring with two massive events. One against Mike Tyson, and the second, a professional fight against Manny Pacquiao. A rematch, of course, of the fight we saw a decade ago. Well, there is a promotion company that is suing Floyd Mayweather. And they say it all.
Boxing has never been only about championship belts. It has always balanced incredible triumph with sudden uncertainty. The headlines surrounding Mayweather serve less as a final chapter and more as a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change. Athletes who perform under the brightest lights inevitably face public judgment when difficult moments arise. Every decision carries consequences. Friendships are tested. Brands come under pressure. Legacies continue evolving long after retirement. Interestingly, Pacquiao's video avoids celebrating another man's struggles. Instead, it delivers a measured message from one legendary fighter to another during a challenging period. That restraint gives the message even greater impact. As legal matters continue and serious discussions take place throughout the boxing world, one truth remains: the sport rarely provides easy answers. Instead, it reveals character through pressure, patience, and the consequences of every choice.
Have some pretty serious implications, not only for Floyd's legacy, but also for how networks and advisors handle fighter compensations. Mayweather wants hundreds of millions back plus punitive damages, pushing this beyond a simple accounting dispute. If the court rules in his favor, it could open the door to more scrutiny of boxing's behind-the-scenes financial relationships. So this is kind of nuts, man. Wow, taken aback, surprised by this. I'm thinking, how did Floyd—
No one can say with certainty how the story will ultimately end. Resolution inside the ring, inside a courtroom, or through private agreements would all carry very different meanings for both legends. The postponed rematch continues affecting promoters, broadcasters, and fans who still hope to witness another meeting between these iconic rivals. Pacquiao, meanwhile, quietly follows the same disciplined routine that defined his entire career. Early morning road work through the streets of General Santos City remains part of his daily life, alongside technical training sessions that keep him connected with his community. He rarely speaks publicly about personal finances, preferring to discuss faith, preparation, and readiness instead. Those closest to him believe he learned valuable lessons from both successful and difficult business experiences, shaping a mindset that prioritizes balance between boxing and life beyond competition.
Blatant karma up in Floyd Mayweather's face for all the smack he talked about Muhammad Ali and how Muhammad Ali's name was only worth $50 million and he sold half of his name for $50 million and how he's made so much more money and that makes him all of that. Talked about how Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, or I don't know if he did, but I'd heard, talked about Floyd. Yeah, he did, because he talked about his money and how he had to sell his name because he didn't have his money right. Yep.
Mayweather has chosen a different approach. He continues participating in carefully selected exhibition events that provide both visibility and significant income. Those appearances have sparked debate throughout the sport. Some observers believe they help him remain sharp and relevant, while others see them as practical responses to changing financial realities. Regardless of the interpretation, they keep Floyd active while uncertainty continues surrounding larger opportunities. Younger fighters are paying close attention. Rising prospects training in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and elsewhere now discuss management agreements with greater caution than ever before. Many still admire Mayweather's decision to promote himself early in his career, yet they also recognize the challenges that can emerge when complete control becomes difficult to maintain. Trainers report more conversations about financial literacy, while advisors increasingly stress investment diversity and careful legal oversight. Whether viewed as inspiration or warning, Mayweather's journey is influencing how the next generation prepares for life beyond championship fights. Promoters and executives are also reassessing long-term financial strategies. One industry figure described the current period as an important examination of systems established during peak earning years. If enormous fortunes can face pressure despite historic success, then every business agreement deserves closer attention. That realization has spread throughout boxing without panic, but with clear respect for how unforgiving the economics of the sport can be.
And because he overrated life, he ran out of money. You can't, no matter how much money you have, you can't have 2 big planes, 10 security guards. It's going to cost you money. I mean, so again, I'm really sad to see that happen, but
looking beyond the United States adds another layer to the story. In the Philippines, Pacquiao represents much more than a boxing champion. Millions follow his career because of his influence in both sports and public service. Supporters see his measured comments regarding the delayed rematch as evidence of maturity developed through decades of negotiations and high-pressure decisions. Across America, opinions remain divided. Loyal Mayweather supporters continue defending his business instincts and point to previous moments when he successfully rebounded from adversity. They believe he will once again find a path forward. At the same time, professional boxing places enormous demands on athletes competing well into their 40s. Recovery slows, injuries become more common, and mental fatigue begins affecting every major decision.
So he only got 13 million out of that 100?
Yeah.
Somebody else
According
took the
to
jury.
TMZ, Floyd says roughly $100 million worth of bling was handed over to a Miami jewelers, more than one, for only $13 million in return. It says a huge chunk of the collection is still sitting with the jewelers, with the dealers.
You got to understand too, Joe. Diamonds. When you purchase diamonds, it's like cars. Once you walk out that jewelry store, you can't.
Boxing has produced countless champions, but only a handful successfully navigate life after reaching the summit. Ultimately, the stories of Mayweather and Pacquiao reveal an important truth. Winning titles and earning fortunes create opportunities, but only wise decisions preserve them. A lasting legacy is shaped not only by unforgettable victories, but also by the choices that follow once the cheering fades. Whatever happens next will reflect years of decisions already made and the ones still waiting ahead, leaving boxing with another unforgettable chapter long after the arena lights shine once again.